Strangers is the 80s, maybe into the early 90s sitcom, which, by the way, the 80s sitcom themes are just always top-notch.
Growing Pains, Family Ties.
Yep.
Well, the
Family
Jeffersons, that's
Matters.
over Family Matters. Oh,
Full
man.
House.
Yeah. Can't go wrong.
Roseanne, I lost me at Roseanne, but it was all
Well, but that even really wasn't.
Family
even
Ties. Did you guys say that?
Yeah,
one?
Family Ties.
Yeah, Family Ties was there. Anyway, point being is this. Perfect Strangers was the name of the show. It was a Bronson Pinchot, Mark Lynn Baker vehicle.
Yeah, that got greenlit.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Was on for several years. Of course, Balki Bartakamus.
Yeah, from Meatballs.
Right. Perfect Strangers. And that's apparently like what we've got in Joanna Cespedes and Todd Frazier, who are apparently the best of friends and can't. They're inseparable. Like as Frazier spent time over at
His ranch.
the ranch in Port St. Lucie this spring. This is an exceptionally interesting development, and for one specific reason. There were a lot of people I talked to back early in spring training that were a little bit concerned about Cespedes this year and how he was going to be with the media and working with people and all those kinds of things. I thought that maybe he might not be as easy to deal with. And the reason being is Cespedes was very close in a very professional and all the right ways way with his interpreter, which was a young woman whose name escapes me at the moment. She left and went to work for the Nationals. And she was like a comfort person for him, like just give you a little comfort zone. And with her leaving, well, there were a lot of people concerned about how he's going to be with the teammates and all that kind of stuff. Because, Cespedes is a different dude. He is just a different dude. And here's Frazier, who is making everybody chuckle and laugh all the time.
The pepper grinder, the salt and pepper.
Yep, all that stuff. Creating $1 million idea for Bart.
And Maggie.
And Maggie.
And we workshopped this together. We have the tape. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see how much of a cut you end up with. Anyway.
Well, and when I said we'll be millionaires, Bart took it as an insult.
Yes.
He's like, why would I go down in my pay? Millionaire.
The point being is that you've got these two guys who are forming an unlikely bond, and I think that's an incredible sign this early in the year when you have two of your star players coming in and creating a very loose atmosphere in the clubhouse. And frankly, that was a huge reason why Frazier is here, is that he was going to lighten the load in the clubhouse. He was going to be that boisterous leader. And we saw the impact that he had on the Yankees down the stretch last season. And I think that some people think it's overrated. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's reasonably important.
I mean, you're talking, I was that guy. I've always been that guy for practice. I've been that guy in the meetings. I was the guy that,
Well, aren't we full of ourselves?
No.
It makes sense.
That was my role, because, of course, Ray was the vocal leader. He talked in the media. But I was the guy, right, hindsight, right? But I was always the guy that had fun at practice. You heard, Brian Billick when he used to come on and talk about just work is just so boring, man. Nobody wants, despite what you may think, no athlete wants to train. No athlete wants to lift weights. But when we're having fun, you almost forget that you're working. And when you have somebody that can set that type of environment, everybody enjoys coming to work, so you never have flat days. You don't have flat practices. You don't have flat, games, because it's somebody that can set the stage, that can make you laugh, that even if you're in a bad mood and you're dealing with stuff outside of work, outside, dealing with real life, which we all have to deal with, you got somebody that makes you forget while you're in that building, forget what you're dealing with when you have to leave. And if Todd Frazier's that guy, I think it's great, because you think about Jay Bruce, he's another guy that was brought in for leadership, but he's not that vocal guy. You need somebody that can articulate it, somebody that can, have fun, come up with things that we can rally around. A salt grinder, okay, let's do it.
I know, and that was like game 2. I mean, you can tell that maybe Todd Frazier, obviously he had the thumbs down thing off of the fan last year, but this was obviously an effort. I think that it wouldn't be surprising because, Bart, you said Rex used to go to you and say, hey, do you mind if I, pick on you this meeting, or I need to use you as a means to an end and play in certain types of things. Like you were that sort of canary that was always on the coal mine. I wouldn't be surprised if management or the coaches went to Frazier and they're like, listen, we need you to be like on 11. We need all the Todd Frazier right now. Don't hold anything back. Just give us your full personality. Don't feel like you have to worry about fitting in the clubhouse. You are the culture tone setter. That's what we need you to be. And you see that Cespedes is responding because his quote is, Todd is one of those guys who makes everyone laugh. I think for this team, it is so great to have Frazier. I really enjoy being around him. He wants to win every night. It doesn't matter who we are playing. He wants to win so badly. He's always pushing everybody to go get that victory, and that's great.
Now, here is before we get to the calls, one little strange development in the last few minutes with the Mets. They've sent down Brandon Nimmo to AAA, and they've called up Corey Oswalt, who was their pitcher of the year in the minor leagues last season. He's the number 16 prospect. Now, there hasn't been anything said about any pitching injuries, and even if it had been, if it had been something that was longer than 10 days, they would have put the pitcher on the DL as opposed to sending Nimmo down. And they've been planning to shuttle relievers in and out through the year to try to keep everybody fresh. But, Paul Sewald's been used once.
I know, but look at how they're using the bullpen. They needed some extra arms.
Yeah.
It's been at a pretty
but
unbelievable
sending Nimmo down
clip.
is a little bit under.
I'm shocked by it, quite frankly. Especially because, he's been hitting and he's been good. But now that you have Conforto back and you have Cespedes, Conforto, and Bruce in your outfield, but
Nimmo gives you that speed, though. He gives you that base running. I think one of the most impressive things that they've been doing is being aggressive and stealing bases and watching Gonzalez get the third yesterday.
He was legging it out, man.
Oh, wow.
He showed a lot of athleticism, actually, for how much we clowned him, and we'll see how much it, holds through the season because he's obviously coming off a back injury. But, he was flashing some leather last night, too.
No, he's great.
He was going lateral. We were
great
joking.
with the glove. He's great with the glove. I'm talking about when he was turning second to go to third. He still almost got thrown out. I was like, man, it was like watching Tom Brady run his 40 all over again.
All right, let's hit the calls. 877-337-6666, your toll-free line. It is brought to you by Mohegan Sun. Unlimited possibilities await you at Mohegan Sun. Plan your stay at MoheganSun.com. Vernon in Manhattan. Vernon, what's going on?
Hey, how my 3 sports Supreme Court judges doing out there?
What up, Vernon?
I have one question to ask you guys, only one. But before I get to that one question, I'm selling 2018 Mets World Series tickets. How many you want?
Here we go.
Vernon.
Give me 2. I'm in there with you, Bernie. I'm in there with you, Bernie. Give me 2.
And by the way, don't give the Mets any ideas. They'll take your money right now. They absolutely will.
Okay, here's my question.
Deposits are
And they
now
won't
being
spend
accepted.
it.
Here's my question. I'm going to listen to your answers and hang up. My question is this. If the Mets and Yankees make it to the World Series in 2018, both teams are healthy, who do you think is going to win the World Series?
Oh, my God, Vernon.
I'll see you later.
10 games into the year. Vernon, come back.
Enjoy it while you can, man. You got something to be proud about.
I can't.
Basking.
Bart. I can't talk about the World Series
No,
today.
goodness.
I can't do it.
No, and you know what?
Let me keeping it real, okay?
This is the interesting thing,
If it
right?
was 1998.
So Mickey Callaway, as we've said, has really pushed all the right buttons, right? How does it go over sending down Nimmo? I don't think he's not a guy, who in the clubhouse is going to be something where, they're going to be like, geez, Skip, really bad choice there. I think you missed. I think we really need a guy like Nimmo, but he did fill in very well for Conforto when Conforto was injured. Obviously, Conforto comes back, so that's great. But, so far, 3 hits. He's drawn 4 walks. I don't know. Got a stolen base.
It is
only
a little
one strikeout.
It is a little bit
I understand you need the arms
confusing.
but the bullpen has been the thing. The bullpen has been the reason why one of the reasons, but I would list them as number 1 to why they're 8-1.
It might just be one of those things where he's got an option and
he's just the easiest one.
They're not gonna try to do anything with Lagares. Who else can they really do anything with? I think that's the problem right now. As far as everybody else, position player wise. You're not, you can't send down Reyes. You can't send down Wilmer Flores. It just might be a numbers game at this point.
Possible.
And he's got the option where other guys don't. Mike in Montclair. Michael, what's going on?
Before you get back to the Mets, I think it should be duly noted that a very long-running Broadway show's curtain went down again last night. 20 years. They've advanced in the playoffs once. And coaches come, coaches go. Players come, players go. The 2 constants with the New York Knicks, James Dolan and Celebrity Row.
Yep. And Celebrity Row ain't getting it done either these days. I mean, you're Patrick Reed. By the way, Michael, you're Patrick Reed. You going to wear your jacket last night?
Hey.
That's a little ham and eggs.
It's the first one.
If I won the Masters, I'd be wearing that jacket too.
Yeah. When Jordan Spieth won his Masters, when he came to SI, he was wearing the jacket.
And let me say this. A previous unnamed host of your time slot mocked Patrick Reed.
Pete Franklin?
Him. No, it was not Pete Franklin. He's a little younger than Pete Franklin, and he's still on the other side of the earth. Okay? But he mocked Patrick Reed viciously for Patrick Reed having the audacity to say that he thought he could become a top 5 player. Okay? And speaking of that unnamed host, I'd like to see a little indignation from you guys, a little outrage, a little comeback.
Okay, Mike, we knew you were going to go there.
It's okay. I mean, Mike, look, here's the deal, okay?
Yeah.
We're at a point now where we're just trying to get this thing going. We're
trying to build a show.
Fine.
No, I understand that. But, Mike, are we going to get into can we compare resumes? Of course we can. If there is nothing I or any of us can do about anything that anybody else says. So if they're going to say what they said, that's fine. I can't worry about it that much. If it'll make you happy to know this, know this. I certainly let them both know that I didn't appreciate what was said.
Is that for public record?
That's what I just said. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I said, but I let them both know that I didn't appreciate it. But that's all there is to it.
The one thing is, we're doing the show for you guys, for the listeners. We're trying to gain your trust. We're trying to build an audience. We're not doing a show for 1 or 2 people out there. We're doing it for all of you. We're trying to build something new from scratch. We're trying to do things the right way. That's all we can try to do.
Listen,
I'm
I
not.
hear what you're saying loud and clear, and I think it's well spoken, and I take it with the way in the manner in which you're saying it. But here's the thing: you guys have come into a very, very difficult situation. I think you have all done yeoman's job, okay, yeoman's work, and I think you're all doing good. But once in a while, good radio is sort of getting down in the dirt and fighting a little bit.
I know.
We've only been on the air for a couple months. Can we just try to keep it, let us just try to do what we're doing for a couple months.
Hey, Mike.
We don't feel like we need to use this time slot, this platform, any of that stuff to start taking shots unnecessarily. So we're not going to do it.
And Mike, it doesn't bother me. I've been criticized my whole life. If I woke up with any one of their lies, I kill myself. I mean,
Bart also said once if he woke up with Tom Brady's body, he would kill himself. Just for the bar on that is low, right?
My resume speaks for itself. This is I'm having fun, so you can't ruin my fun with hate.
Mike, ultimately, Mike, I think we all learn one thing, right?
Yeah.
It's about the piece of real estate that this is, and the incredible power that this piece of real estate has.
We don't take that lightly.
Nope. And they didn't either. And that was something that they used to tell me all the time. So,
but you know something. Here's what's so low about what they both did. No one forced them out. No one showed them the door. They left on their own free will, on their own terms, at the top of their games. Okay, can they give you guys a break? Can they just keep their mouth?
I do think, Mike. I will say this. I do think it was just goofing around, and that's what they do. What I said to them privately will stay between us unless they want to let it out there. But certainly, I didn't appreciate the notion that somehow we're going anywhere. That's where you want to have trouble with the show. Have trouble with the show. That's fine. You want to get on the show. I mean, specifically with Chris. Chris pounded the show before we even did one. Pounded it. Pounded Bart.
Oh, he don't strike two with me. Next time I'm going Waka Flocka at his next one.
But here's my thing. We went to the Super Bowl. I went and saw him. And he said, "I kill you, but I love you." That whole thing. Okay, come on the show. We'll have a few laughs. Wouldn't come on the show. And I don't know if it was because he didn't want to come and meet Bart. And in the meantime, he went on other shows and pounded us. So my relationship with them was what it was, and I'll be forever grateful for the roles that they played. Just me personally in my career, and I communicated that to them as well before we started. But As far as what happened after the fact, we can't control it, and we're just trying to do this. We're just trying to do this. And have fun with it, too. Because honestly, I don't think there's one of the three of us wouldn't say we are beyond exceptionally lucky to continue to play in the sandbox of life. Mm-hmm. And we're having a blast doing this.
And we're still a work in progress. We have not been on the air very long. We're building a show. Hang with us. What we are on day one is not what we will be on day 100. And everyone has to know that. And for the people who have been calling and saying nice things, we appreciate that so much. For the people out there who are hating, we understand that comes with the territory. We're just trying to do something fun. We're trying to do something interesting and trying to add a little creativity. We know it's a different voice. Just give us a chance.
Their legacies are fully cemented, and we're just trying to do our own thing now. 242, Afternoon Drive. Carlin, Maggie, and Bart, 877-337-6666.